That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1 minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield. Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This is Hawk Talk with Jensen. Presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community. Oak Knoll, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City community for 59 years. Also brought to you by Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Also brought to you by University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist, made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by your local Ford dealers. Here's Rob Brooks.
Well, after a couple of big conference road wins at Northwestern and, of course, yesterday at Indiana, it's great to be back at Carver Hawkeye this week for 2 in a row, as Iowa will host 14-4 Oregon on Thursday, 16-1 Michigan State on Sunday night, as the Hawks moved up to number 11 in the AP poll today with a record of 14-2. Stay perfect in the Big Ten at 5-0 after a big-time rally, down 16 at the half in Bloomington yesterday, and big sigh of relief for today, Coach, as boy, what a comeback in the second half, and that third quarter was one for the ages offensively and defensively, and the starting lineup in the third quarter worked out well.
Yeah, it really did. And that I was really pleased with how that second half went. Well, first off, I was really pleased we got to play 2 halves. That's for sure.
Good thing the game wasn't 20, right?
Very happy that got to happen. But the one thing that, never shows up in a box score or a stat sheet is two really huge qualities that I think this team has shown time and time again this year is a resiliency and a togetherness. And they just keep believing and they keep going and they don't waver. And I think we've seen that even in our losses this year. They've never, ever checked out. They just kind of, they might have a bad moment, but you can usually kind of get them back on track. And I just thought that third quarter especially was amazing. We talked at halftime about we had a long way, the hill was high. And so we were really, really, thank you. I mean, how about our fans? I love these guys so much. Our fan
some
base.
Were there yesterday.
I know. I just saw them. And there really is no place like Iowa. I know I sound like a broken record, but the people who show up at our radio show all the time and our away games, our home games, it isn't like this anywhere else. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart. But I told the team afterwards that second half was just really, really special. And, some of the best teams in the country, that might have more skill, more height or whatever, they don't have what's in their hearts. And they have a drive to play for each other, to play for Iowa. And so that was really, really great to see. And I couldn't have been more proud of their second half effort. As frustrated as I was with our first half, it was great to really see that second half.
Well, you made it well known last week that Indiana was going to come out on fire, and they were going to play hard, and they've been close on a couple of occasions, hadn't got over the hump yet, and as we discussed, that's a dangerous situation, especially on their home floor.
Yeah, I mean, I likened it to kind of a desperation mode. They played those games. I was cheering so hard for them at Nebraska. No defense to Nebraska. I have much respect for both programs, but I just wanted them to get that monkey off their back. And so I was not surprised at all with how hot and how intently Indiana came out. I was surprised that we were a little passive, and we were, that passivity, we talked a lot about. We let our offense dictate our defense in that first half. And that doesn't happen too often, too long for this team. And we were just on our heels. And I think the reason I was so surprised is our practices leading up were excellent. Our shoot-around was excellent. And so sometimes as a coach, when you go into the game and the first couple minutes you kind of roll in and you're like, okay, we're just getting our legs under us. But then when it just kept, kind of elongating, that's when I was surprised, because I knew that Indiana was going to come out, firing. They're looking at their schedule and who they had to play. They have 3 ranked games right in a row, and you have us at home. We are really a good rival team. It didn't take Terry Moore and I don't think too much motivation to get up for us. So they came out swinging a little bit harder, and I talked with our team a lot about that. And we just, we didn't get our gloves up, I think. We didn't get them up quick enough, and, we caught one of those hard punches right off the bat. But thankfully we had Epsom salt at halftime, and we got ready and got our wits about us.
Well, and Shea Chesky made some tough shots. Boy, that's really good off the dribble. Those pull-up 15 to 18-foot jump shots, and that really got them going, and then had a good inside presence as well.
She's great. She used to be a lot of our fans. She was at Penn State, and she was just she was hard to guard there. And now her numbers are even a little, more emboldened because she doesn't have as much around her. And sometimes when you don't have as much around you, you have unlimited freedom. And when she has unlimited freedom, and all roads go through her. And when she gets hot, boy, she had 31 at Nebraska. So she's, when we started the game, we were still testing to see if Kylie had only practiced for a couple practices. So I wanted to see, and she has to warm up on the bike to get it all ready to go. But I think 2 things happened. Chit Chat's a pretty good defender, but Shea Chesky's only about 5'7". So Shea Chesky usually doesn't see anybody shorter than her defending her. And she's got unbelievable elevation. So Chit Chat is arguably one of our best defenders. Kylie certainly is, with her length, her athleticism. So when Shea Chesky gets hot, it's just over for a while. And you can go back and look at all the film. She's one of those scorers that can just get unconscious. But I think when she had Chit Chat on her and she was hot, her vision and her elevation, Chit Chat needed to be up into her a lot more. She needed, Chat doesn't have the length, so she's got to get up to her a little closer and not let her even get it. The first dribble's got to be sideways versus coming downhill. So she's impressive. So the second half, obviously, we started Kylie. We needed that defensive presence, and then we decided to trap her on every screen. And what that did was just get her to hesitate. And she didn't have to really hesitate at all in the second half, or the first half, and she had 21. And what did we hold her to, 2 or something?
2 points, yeah.
So that was really the key.
1 for 11 from the floor, and
really
then 0 for 6 from three-point range after having 19 points in the first half and hardly ever missed. And, boy, Kylie to the rescue.
Yeah.
You have to watch a lot of basketball to realize her impact on the game.
Yeah, and I think, so much always, I try to talk to our players about this too. Sometimes when they get in games, and sometimes they think they come out because they didn't make a basket, or, I didn't get a play long enough, I didn't get a score. And when scoring, it's not all rest on scoring. Everybody likes to glorify the scoring. But I'm telling you, I've been telling you this since, the radio show when I'm asked about Kylie. Kylie is like our glue. She's a fixer. She understands it. She's understands all the plays. She knows when I want to press. She knows when I want to switch. She knows when we shouldn't switch. And that's a senior with that. And I think she's really got, she's been sometimes, I think, underappreciated or undervalued. And if you watch every day in practice and you know what she brings to the team, and I think yesterday people really got a sense to what she can do. And, oh, by the way, she also hit a pretty big-time 3. And so those are things where that senior leadership, she's been leading us all year long. And right when we needed her most, boy, did she come up big in that second half.
Down 16 going into the third quarter, and then finally took the lead at 1:44 left to go, and held Indiana scoreless through that time. That's over 8 minutes of basketball where Indiana did not have a point. When did you feel in that quarter when, okay, now we're really back into it, it's anybody's ball game?
When actually it wasn't quite that late. It was when I looked up at the score, and it got to be early in the third quarter. We got it to 30-37. I felt a lot better, and I can't even tell you exactly why. I just knew I'd watched enough film, and I don't think probably in my short head coach tenure, I do not know if I've been as hot as I was at the end of that first half of just exactly what transpired, and just could not believe, we just were cold, blah, blah, blah. But I knew that if we could make it a game again, it wasn't going to be won right away. You can't make up 16 points. But if we could just make it a game, and, because if you coach long enough, you've been on both sides of that 0-6, 6-0 type of deal. And when a team is trying to break through, when it's just been a hard sledding, there's a point in time that you either get over the hump or you start to think, is that who we are? And I felt like when we got 37-30, and I saw Kylie, and you see it on film, and Kylie's starting to clap down on defense, and Hannah's clapping in the back, and even Ava Hayden is, and I'm like, we got a game again. And at that point, I was like, okay, we are back. We were back. The Y's were better. The offense was moving better. And so when we got to that point, then I just started to just coach a whole different deal. The fluidity was back. And so then when it went back and forth, in the flow of it, you don't have time to think, what if we don't hit that shot? What do we got to get this stop? You're just kind of making those reads. And I just, I'm really grateful. It didn't have, obviously we could have made the whole comeback and they hit a shot at the right time. But it was 37-30 is really when I thought, okay, we got a game. I feel good. And then down the stretch, I just thought we were leaning on our blue-collar mentality, our grittiness. They just had to get stops. And how about that 5-second call? Holy buckets.
After the timeout.
I know. That was great. It seemed a little faster in the game, but when I watched it again and I timed it, it was about 5.5. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't. I think you're just so surprised at the 5-second, right? So, yeah, I think that was when I felt better about things. But certainly, how about Chit Chat's 3, though? That was killer, right? When she came down, and it was nice to see Chit Chat become Chit Chat again, because we didn't see that in the first half.
But you're right. The 3-pointers coming down the stretch, mentioned Kylie's, Chit Chat, and Taylor knocked one down, and then Ava got going.
Taylor knocked one down. And I think that's a mark of, every coach wants to win the gritty plays, right? And I really believe what I want to be is a blue-collar, blue blood. I've been trying to, instill that, we're not going to be anointed, no one gives you that title, but just blue-collar, who we are. It's like, you come and play for us, this is a heck of a choice to come. There's a lot of easier choices that you can make sometimes, but you want to come, we're going to be down and dirty, we're going to be blue collar. And every staff calls it something different, get on the floor, you want your kids to lay out. That one, and if you were at the game, there was a scramble. It was like, I think Hannah hit it, and Ava's on the floor. Ava saves it, she throws it up, and all of a sudden it gets swung to a wide open Taylor. And Taylor drains that thing. And that was when I was like, boom. But those are the things when you have to come all the way back, that's what takes you there. And that's what I think this team has really, really been good at. Now we have to continue getting good at being sharper, at being more consistent in our shots, being more consistent in the reads. Yesterday we were just a little too robotic that we could never get a flow.
There was another play, too, just like that as far as the blue-collar mentality. It was tapped around in the lane a couple of times, saved, and they got to Ava at the free throw line and then found Hannah down the left
stretch,
block.
right? Yeah, that was that was another big one, and that was a beautiful pass by Ava too.
Perfect,
and it was great to see Hannah finish that.
Yeah, absolutely, and then she had a double-double with 12 points and 12 rebounds on 5 of 9 shooting, and then of course in the third quarter, 7 of 17, but knocked down 3 big threes, and then 50% shooting in the fourth quarter, and needed all of that because, as you figured, Indiana wasn't going anywhere and it was going to be a back-and-forth game, and it certainly was that.
Yeah, it was it was just an interesting game, definitely the tale of two halves, but I saw a lot of that resiliency that I see in practices that are hard every now and then, and, we had to rely on that again at the Northwestern game. So it just big plays at the right times, and I just think a whole lot of belief, and I just never saw him waver.
Going even back to that first quarter, down 20-8, it's only 12 points, so it's not that bad. You like to be obviously reversed, and then you made a nice little run in the second quarter, and then Indiana kind of did the same thing to close out the first half, and got that last shot to go in. And I think that probably led to a little bit of your frustration there. But then you're right, the response. And when you continually talk about it week after week like we do, that means it's ingrained. It's there, and that team has it. And I'm sure you have to see it in practice to see it in games.
Yeah, you really do. And I think that just the mismanagement of the clock before the end of the half was just that kind of tells you when you're a little fragile. Yeah. But, I can look back on that, and I can clean that up a little bit for him, maybe be a little bit more consistent in what we're running. But, that was just one. But you could tell that's where we're a little out of it, right? But overall, what they had to do at halftime to adjust and to really lock in, that's what we learned a lot from the first half. We watched a lot of film today. Our staff, certainly, I watched it last night and watched a little bit more today. So you always feel fortunate when you can learn from near-death experiences. It's like, okay, we survived that, and now we're right back up where we need to be. Oxygen's good, energy level's good.
Right, 5-0 is 5-0, right?
Amen.
That's not easy to do, especially getting this deep into the Big Ten, and then you look at what happens around the league. Any time you can win on the road, I don't care how it happens, is so huge because it's tough.
It is tough. And Jack, my son, he pointed out yesterday or Saturday, the Nebraska men, if you follow the men's side, they're having a hot year, right? So they go play at Indiana, and they're down 16 in the first half, and they come back and they win by 6. We would have won by 6, but the girl hit the one, right at the buzzer, right? But it's just it just can happen. And Assembly Hall is a really difficult place to play. We've traded parting shots at both of our home courts. So, just interesting. You can just critique things to death sometimes, and you want to look so sharp all the time, and fan bases can want you to look great all the time. But at the end of the day, you got to find a way to win. I mean, the winning with all the other things, and it's just really difficult in tough conferences. It's hard. It's really hard. Purdue beat Washington, right?
In overtime.
Yeah, in overtime. And Washington beat Michigan, right? And Michigan is ranked in the top 7. Didn't Washington beat Michigan, Jack? Is that right?
They did. Yeah.
So it's just like, all those things. It's like it happens, right? And it just that's why sports is amazing. I mean, it just is, live entertainment. I love watching every live entertainment. I love watching live music. I love watching Broadway. There's nothing like that, that energy. But sports is like you rehearse it to a degree, but nothing is ever the same performance. And when you're seeing that unfold, sometimes it's beautiful. Sometimes it's as murky and plotting, and you end up losing, and it feels even worse. You end up winning, and you're grateful, right? It's just, it's sport. There's nothing like it, man.
It's like you said, boy, 2 great practices, and then you look out and say, whoa, what happened here?
Yeah. I mean, really, you look at it as beautiful and easy, that Nebraska game. The defensively we were there, but offensively we were kind of clicking. But then you hit a different type of defense, and then you're a little slodgy again. Slodgy, is that a word? Sludgy.
It is now.
I don't know. I'm a little tired, so I don't know. Sludgy, I don't know. Muddy, I know muddy's a word. So we'll stick with muddy.
Well, there's only 8 teams in the Big Ten in the top 25 of the AP. So,
only 8.
Yeah,
only 8.
Yeah.
I know.
And probably 2 or 3 others knocking on the door for sure.
Right.
Well, we appreciate everybody here tonight. If you have a question, you can come on up. And as usual, if you're out watching or listening, you can check in as well on social media at Iowa_Learfield or hashtag Hawk Talk. Also, Facebook questions, facebook.com/HSP Learfield. The U.S. Cellular text line is 319-853-8344. And, of course, you can always email questions here to HawkTalk at HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight along the Hawkeye Radio Network and the Varsity app, the University of Iowa official YouTube page, and also Mediacom MC22 across the state of Iowa. Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen, of course, as always, is presented by Oaknall, as Oaknall's mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City area for 59 years. Oaknall is conveniently located near University of Iowa Healthcare Campus, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye, downtown Iowa City, a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. You can visit Oaknall.com to learn more. Also, throughout the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series, Iowa Corn promotes honest, hardworking values that are uniquely Iowan. Thank you to Iowa's corn farmers who lead the nation in corn and ethanol production, feeding and fueling us all. Go to iowacorn.org to learn how corn grows Iowa. We'll have more Hawk Talk with Coach Jensen, presented by Oaknall. We are live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar from Learfield.
Our mission at Oaknall is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oaknall is located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oaknall.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Despite the unshakable Iowa Corn Cyhawk rivalry, there is one thing Iowa State and University of Iowa fans can both agree on: getting hyped for Unleaded 88. It's cleaner burning and better for your engine, and it's cheaper than other fuel options, making Unleaded 88 the clear fuel choice. If Iowa Corn Cyhawk rivals can agree on it, you know it's worth the hype. So pump it up with Unleaded 88, grown by Iowa corn farmers.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hawk Hawk fans. Stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Ben McCullum. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Save time when you shop online with Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee makes it easy to order groceries online through our app or Hy-Vee.com. Pickup is always free. And if you have a Perks Plus membership, you get free delivery and free express pickup. Shop online with Hy-Vee and you can create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Talk about convenient. Order groceries online today. Check out Hy-Vee.com or download the Hy-Vee app.
RE/MAX is the official real estate partner of Iowa Athletics, and we understand there's a number for everything: square footage, down payment, interest rates. But how do you measure the trust you have in your agent? For a RE/MAX agent, it's not about numbers on a contract. It's being a trusted RE/MAX agent. That means you'll get honest advice, expert guidance, and someone who's committed to your success. Because while numbers count, trust is what truly matters. RE/MAX, the official real estate partner of Iowa Athletics. Each office independently owned and operated.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen, presented by Oaknall, as we are live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. We talked about the AP Top 25. The Hawkeyes move up to 11, and the other 7 teams that are in the Top 25. UCLA sits in there at number 3, defeated Nebraska last night. They moved up a spot. Michigan, as we talked about, at number 8, moved up a spot. Maryland down 4 to 12 because Ohio State moved up 5 in that matchup over the weekend. And Michigan State, who Iowa will take on Sunday at Carver, in there at 15 with just 1 loss. And then Nebraska in at 24. And Illinois checks in for the first time at 25. And there's probably 2 or 3 others that you could put in the top 25 as well, which talks about what the next couple months look like.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we're clearly aware that our trajectory in this Big Ten season, we're facing the better and better teams, with every outing, and everything is hard. The good teams, the teams that are, supposedly in the bottom, a lot of those teams are, they're right there. Indiana certainly is much better than their record. Now, they are not certainly UCLA at this moment or Ohio State, but they have a lot of pieces. They have a couple of youthful pieces. They have 1 senior. So everything is difficult, but certainly we know what's heading down the pike, and that's why we need to make sure we're continuing looking sharper and sharper with each outing.
But the key thing, Jan, as you talked about, you have to take care of these games. Look at Purdue. Mm-hmm. Who knows how many games they were expected to win in the Big Ten, and they've already have 2 here. Mm-hmm. So you just can't take anything for granted. You got to bank them.
Yep, absolutely. Bank them and stack them.
Yes,
that's what I like to do.
Yeah, that's perfect. Let's go to the U.S. Cellular text line. Kevin down in Ottumwa, obviously commenting on Kylie's second half defense against the Big Ten's leading scorer. Just held her to 2 points, but talk about the block shots too. Mm-hmm. As Kevin mentioned, had a big block down the stretch, and that was pretty impressive when Indiana was driving in there. Not only 10 steals, but 6 blocked shots by the Hawkeyes.
I know, and Coach Stamp thinks there was more.
I'm sure there probably were.
She wants Bailey Turner to look through. She feels like that Hannah or one of our guards had more. I said, well, you go ahead.
Like more.
Yeah, it did. Hey, Kevin, thanks so much for writing in or calling in. Kylie just has a really good sense. She's long, she's lean, she's athletic, and she's really, really savvy on defense. And she loves defense. There's a lot of kids that don't embrace defense as much. So, when I saw in the first half that Kylie had a good bounce to her, she said it wasn't, hurting. She has some pretty good pain meds there too. So we decided to go with a defensive type of lineup. And then when we came out of halftime, I decided to fire every screen that Shea Chesky, number 10, was involved with. Fire to us means you're trapping it. So we switched off Hannah and Ava. And so Ava then had to guard a 3-point shooting potential freshman. But I told Ava, I'm like, look, she's basically right now, for the most part, she's going to be a threat on the perimeter. Hands up, force her left, and, try to minimize any reaches or fouls. Hannah, I said, I need everything you got. I need your intensity and your fire. And anytime she comes off the screen, I want you to make her feel like you're going to just trap her and just get her to back off. And so we were able to make that adjustment. And I think that just put, number 10, Chesky, off her game. And we were able to be most effective at that because Kylie and Hannah are, in my opinion, two of the best defenders in the league, not just certainly on our team. So thankfully that adjustment really worked. We did a good job of trying to, what I call choking, anytime they got it into their big. And we just had a better presence. But again, Kylie leads that. And, that's what just is the beauty of having her back.
Do you feel like you got Indiana a little bit out of rhythm in the second half as well? Because everything it seemed easy for them early on, but nowhere close to that in the second half.
Yeah, and that's the thing where it was really our defense that got our offense going in the third quarter. And that's the way it can be every game, because defense does not depend on lighting, on rims, on balls, on maybe the refs. But, offense depends on that too, if you're going to give an excuse to something. But I felt like we came out and we became us again. And, we put up 37 points in that second half. We were running better. We were looking for our scores better. We just had a better bounce to us.
And not many fouls.
No, certainly. And I really thought that the way the game was called was in favor of both teams. I think Indiana was cranky the first quarter because they had a lot of fouls and boom, boom, boom. But, I do try to look at it again when you go back and watch it with more of an open, just because I've been on that side too when you think you really get, rooked by the refs. But I really think they were fouls. It just feels like you're getting unfair treatment when it happens boom, boom, boom. But it didn't really hurt them. We didn't take advantage of it in that first half. But we certainly made them much more uncomfortable in the second.
And then Anthony in Des Moines, and we've talked a little bit about it, just the adjustments at halftime. And obviously it started with the starting lineup, getting your original starting lineup back in there, which had to feel good because knowing you didn't know going in exactly how long Kylie could go or how effective she might be just because of the lack of practice time.
Yeah, so that was, just when I saw her moving out there, I felt more comfortable. But I'm always paying attention to the athletes. I might want them to go, but if they can't go as many minutes, certainly I'm never going to mandate that. But she was really, really key. And so that was, I think that was the question. And thank you so much for asking that. And I think he asked about our music.
I remember Caitlin always used to have control of that boombox, right?
Yeah, Caitlin did. It really randomly varies at shoot around. Sometimes when it was Christmas season, shoot arounds, they'll put more pop rock of, Christmas on. Sometimes someone will be like, hey, let's listen to 80s rock today, all the things. So it's not a certain genre that they listen to. They do have certain songs that they listen to when they won't warm up, and that's a little bit leans towards the rap. So
you're not choosing, right?
I'm not. There's some rap that I like. I wouldn't choose the song that they have chosen for one of them, but I do appreciate every genre of music.
But for the most part, pretty good.
Yeah,
whatever gets
absolutely.
you going, right?
Absolutely, I'm all about that.
Well, of course, you've been doing a lot of recruiting, and we touched on that last week as well. Most of the staff was out over the weekend, and James just has a question about trying to find those young guns out there, and you've seen some pretty good basketball games, and the staff has throughout the Midwest, just trying to find those best matchups to check out some players.
Yeah, how I try to do it, in the fall, I'll try to go to some open gyms, fall workouts, and then you try to hit. I try to hit earlier. As many that I can get to. I did last year. Last week. It was a week. I went to Sioux Falls. Went to 2 or 3 last week or 2, and then I flew to a big tournament in Atlanta. and got to see a bunch of games there. And I'll have then we flew before Indiana. I went to see a kid. So I try to, when it works. But now as we get deeper in the season, the old gray mare ain't what she used to be. So I gotta pace myself a little bit when I get into the thick of it. So you do go. You got to go. Sometimes you're like, ooh, get on that plane or get in that car. But I try to load it. So now when I'm seeing kids, I try to be thoughtful because I want to be at my best certainly when we're playing the game. And last week I probably pushed it. I was pretty tired by the end of that Atlanta trip, and then we went the next day. I think we went to Northwestern. So then I just did one this week.
How many times do you want to see a potential prospect play live?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, you see them play a lot in the summers, and then if you're the clear ones, right? There's different modes, like a kid like a Caitlin or a way blue chipper. You're going to use all your contacts for them. You can only see them a certain amount of times, but when you're in the thick of it, you got to see them every time. And then sometimes you have to be strategic, how much the head coach goes, assistants goes, and so forth. So it depends. If you're making a decision on a kid, then it depends on how many times you see them. When I'm going now, these are usually offers. I don't need to make a decision, right? I've made that already in this role. Some of our assistants, they're going out like, I was going to give a shout out to our assistants on social media. Lysandra had a heck of a, she went out to L.A. and saw our great incoming freshman, McKenna Velichko. She took a red eye, had trouble. Red eye left an hour late because someone passed out in the bathroom. And so right before they're taking off, so it waited. They had to get everybody off the plane. So she got in and I think got maybe an hour to shower and take a nap and get to the game. Jazz Walker, she drove to a big tournament, Sophie Cunningham's tournament in Missouri. Drove 5.5 hours to get there, probably middle of the night, to be there for shoot around. So these are the things, not the glamorous part of coaching. So we're represented. We do make a lot of trips, but for me, I have a friend that says she can decide in 30 seconds if someone can play for her. I need a little longer than 30 seconds.
40?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, 40, 45. But you maximize them for the kids you're in with. But you definitely want to see them. You want everybody to see them on staff. Me, I'd like to see them.
And I'm sure they want to see you.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. Yep. You definitely have to make sure you're representing.
If not anything else, the appearance is everything. Thanks so much for the question, James. And we'll be back to some more questions after the break. And I want to remind you, another proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics, U.S. Cellular. I want you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling a little bit later. U.S. Cellular is built for us. Also, the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, proud to be the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye women's basketball again this season, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. You can learn more at uiowaenergycollaborative.com. And remind you once again that Valentine's Day's not too far away. It's creeping in on about a month as you can treat your special someone to a romantic evening right here at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. Enjoy an elegant 3-course dinner featuring your choice of either Atlantic salmon, prime rib, a cherry kiss salad, and also a chocolate-covered strawberry for under $40, $39.99. Each table is welcomed with a glass of complimentary champagne, a long stem rose, to set the tone for an unforgettable, wonderful evening. Reservations are limited, so if you think that might be a possibility, something you want to do, you can visit their website at watermillkitchen.com to reserve your spot. If you want to jump in the conversation, we still have some time. Twitter at Iowa_Learfield or hashtag Hawk Talk. U.S. Cellular text line 319-853-8344. Email hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. More Hawk Talk with Coach Jensen, presented by Oaknall, is next live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar from Learfield.
Dives for lunch.
The Juicy Lucy. Essentially, it's a burger, but with cheese on the inside.
James Beard Award winners for dinner.
French technique, but Midwestern ingredients. It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
Celebrate the legendary Donnie Baker with a night of non-stop laughs at the Donnie Baker Ron Sexton Memorial Tour, coming to Riverside Casino and Golf Resort. On Friday, January 30th, hear fellow Bob and Tom Show comedians Bob Zaney, Greg Hahn, and Kostaki Economopoulos share outrageous stories and never-before-heard moments from the road. Purchase your tickets for this heartfelt and hilarious tribute now at riversidecasinoandresort.com or stop at our gift shop. It's going to be a night of laughs you won't forget.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox Home Comfort Specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
You asked for all the extreme internet performance at an all-in price, and we listened. Get 1 gig internet with a 2-year price lock and everything included. Unlimited data for non-stop streaming, powerful Wi-Fi for enhanced coverage, built-in online threat protection, and internet equipment. All for just $65 a month for 2 years. It's the extreme 1 gig internet deal you asked for. Call 844-4FASTER or visit extreme.com for details. Offer available to new customers only. Price doesn't include one-time charges, tax, and government fees.
At MidAmerican Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Save time when you shop online with Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee makes it easy to order groceries online through our app or Hy-Vee.com. Pickup is always free. And if you have a Perks Plus membership, you get free delivery and free express pickup. Shop online with Hy-Vee and you can create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Talk about convenient. Order groceries online today. Check out Hy-Vee.com or download the Hy-Vee app.
In Minnesota, we don't hide from winter. We embrace it. When there's a nip in the air, we take on the trails. For every layer you wear, there's a new experience waiting for you.
It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Coach Jensen. We are here at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. 2 big home games this week, Thursday against Oregon, and then Sunday night against Michigan State. And then we'll be right back here for our next show on January the 19th. Will be our next Hawk Talk right here at the Hyatt Regency. A couple of notes from the game at Assembly Hall. Of course, it was Iowa's largest come-from-behind victory of the season, and the first win at Assembly Hall since February 19th, 2022. And the Hawkeyes are 5-0 to start the Big Ten, and that's the best since the 23-24 season when Iowa began league play at 7-0. And hopefully after this week, the Hawks will be right there at 7-0 as well. Individually, of course, Ava Hayden had 13 points, 9 boards, and 2 block shots. We talked about those important ones down the stretch. Hannah Stalkey, her 4th double-double of the season with 12 and 12. And then, as Coach Jensen talked about, chit-chat being chit-chat, had 13 points and also contributed 3 assists. And I don't believe turned the ball over. 3 assists, no turns, and 4 steals. And Taylor McCabe made 2 3-pointers. She's now shot over 100 of them this year, and right about that 40% mark, and is now 11th in program history for 3-pointers made with 164. And Kylie Fierbach recorded her 500th career point as a Hawkeye, and that had to involve that big-time 3 coming down the stretch. Boy, when She's got a really nice shot, though, and when she fouls through, it really looks like it's going to go in more times than not.
Yeah, it is a pretty shot, and that was a key one, that's for sure, wasn't it?
Needed it.
And we
right,
sure needed
and you had a good view of it.
I had a beautiful view of it. I tell you what, I had a great view. I'm shuffling through my papers, and I must have left it back at the office, but we have some really impressive we were Coach B. Barrett, actually. We were just looking to some different stats in team stats in the Big Ten Conference. Through these games, we're fourth in rebounding at 41 a game. We're second in assists, third in assist to turnover ratio, fourth in steals, third in field goal percentage, first in scoring defense, and third in field goal percentage defense. And 3-point field goal defense were first. Now, granted, I know what we have coming, but we've guarded some pretty good shooters. Prince out of Nebraska, Shea last night out of Indiana. Great post presence with Merkel out of Penn State. Penn State also has a good scoring guard. So, team-wise, but these are things that I was glad we could highlight because sometimes when you go through games like that, you're like, you can see the kids. I mean, if anybody didn't want to play a poor first half, it's the team, right? They're trying to figure out what happened. But I thought that was pretty cool to see. And then in all games, we have some pretty good individual stats too.
Well, I think you look at that rebounding margin too. That's been in double figures the entire season, and that's with Baylor and UConn and all those other teams, and that's been consistent.
It has, and the interesting to bring that up. We like to have a rebounding plus 6 would be great, right? That's the goal. Well, last night we tied, but we gave up 8 O-boards in the first half. That's why I was also livid. I'm like, are you kidding me? 8 rebounds. We gave up 1 O-board in the second half, right? I mean, and they missed a lot in the second half, right? So they shot better in the first half, and we still gave up that midding. So they really had a much more pointed effort on defense, and that's why we were able to turn it.
Slip a couple more questions in here, Jeff, from Council Bluffs. These close road games in the Big Ten, and what it's kind of taught you about this group so far this year, and obviously the resiliency and the playing 40 minutes, especially down the stretch, is key.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for writing in. I think the thing is, it's like all of us individually in life. When you come through a hard thing, there's that quote, we can do hard things. When you do have success at a hard thing, you can draw upon that. And we've done that a couple times. And, you don't want to keep testing fate. But I do think that what I have liked about that is that the group, you try to make your practices harder than games. Because then when you get to the game, you're like, oh, I've been here before. Coach is intense. She was intense in practice, right? Is that you're trying to chase this standard. Because when you're chasing this standard every day, when you get into a game and it gets hard and you're tired and you get into games in January and February, then certainly in March, is if you've been pushed to that standard. So when we've been able to execute well enough at key times, that's what I've seen, is that they've drawn upon that from the practice. They've drawn upon it, what we liked when we came back from Northwestern. Last night, we're like, yeah, we've been here, we can do that. So I think, Jeff, that's what we've really learned, is that, hey, we can draw upon things, good and bad experiences. So when we had to come all the way back, we'd been there when it was stressful. But when we were also coming back, man, that play we just ran, I remember we did that when, we beat so-and-so at Rutgers by, whatever. So you're stacking the success. You're stacking the moments. So I think that's what I like, what I'm seeing out of the group when they're getting these close wins on the road.
Megan from Coralville, the importance of rebounding. We've talked about that, and the effort plays to get you back into a game because those possessions are huge, and it's a momentum builder. And you could tell the crowd was really into it, the Indiana fans in the first half, and then, boy, they kind of felt Things were changing there in the second half as well.
And our Hawk fans that were there, they got loud when we needed you most. Thank you so much.
They were loud in the first half.
They were. They did not. They did not let us. They did not let us go silent. So. Yeah, the rebounding is just possessions. I mean, rebounding is so key. I mean, the more times you get it, if you get to shoot the ball more times than the other team, and that is done by more rebounding possessions and or causing turnovers for the other team, chances are you're going to win the game. So when we turned that rebounding around in the second half, it was so bad that we got to an even mark, right? I was pleased that I could consider the even mark a victory in a sense.
And those plays that we talked about, those hustle plays result in a three-pointer or a beautiful pass down to Hannah. That's just a momentum builder, and everybody's into it. I saw the bench. They were up really into it.
Great.
Those are just spectacular plays that do more than maybe just 2 points.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody, I told the team after the game, everybody did their jobs in this game in that second half. The bench was really into it. The people who got to play were really into it, and they really leaned into that tenacity, and that's what it took. And it certainly took the bench also being selfless.
And, of course, it'll take that and more this week as Oregon and Michigan State come to Carver Hawkeye Arena. Don't forget to share a taste of Iowa tradition this holiday with the Eat Shop's famous cinnamon rolls and handmade pies. They're worth every bite. You can pre-order now at theeatshop.com. We'll take a look at the game plan with Oregon when we come back. More Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen. We are presented by Oak Knoll, live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar from Learfield.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oak Knoll is located near the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Ben McCullum. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
You asked for all the extreme internet performance at an all-in price, and we listened. Get 1 gig internet with a 2-year price lock and everything included. Unlimited data for non-stop streaming, powerful Wi-Fi for enhanced coverage, built-in online threat protection, and internet equipment. All for just $65 a month for 2 years. It's the extreme 1 gig internet deal you asked for. Call 844-4FASTER or visit extreme.com for details. Offer available to new customers only. Price doesn't include one-time charges, tax, and government fees.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Final moments of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen, presented by Oaknall, live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. Of course, coming up, Oregon. That is a 8 o'clock tip on Thursday night, and then Michigan State in town on Sunday for a Sunday evening game. 7 o'clock is the tip time for that, and we'll dive into the Ducks, and Sivko brings us the game plan, as precision matters most when your loved one is undergoing an invasive procedure. For over 40 years, Sivko has been a trusted provider of image-guided procedures, scouted on to deliver outstanding service and superior quality around the world. Sivko Medical Solutions, making image-guided procedures safer. The Ducks in town on Thursday, and they stand at 14-4 overall, 2-3 in the Big Ten Conference, but you never know how that schedule is going to pan out, as they have started already with UCLA, Michigan, and Michigan State. So they have played some of the upper echelon of the Big Ten, and Michigan State and Oregon had quite a battle yesterday at Michigan State out in the Pacific Northwest. Came away with a 4-point victory, a big comeback.
Mm-hmm. It is a big comeback. And Oregon, they love the fast break. They score about 22 points a game off the break. They play a beautiful 4-out-1 in, a lot of reads, do a little horns action. They also play a 1-2-2 zone. And, we haven't faced that a whole lot yet. They do player to player, so we got to have they'll press a little bit off of free throws. They do sometimes makes, but I anticipate a little bit more off of free throws. But we're going to have our press breaker ready, and we're going to have a little zone offense, and we're going to have to play some transition defense.
But the great news, back inside cover.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see everybody there on Thursday night, or have you watch us on TV. And thanks for everybody that came. God bless you, and go Hawks.
Yep, thanks to everybody that came out for Hawk Talk tonight. Don't forget our next show is Monday, January the 19th, and we'll talk to you on Thursday from Carver Hawkeye as Iowa goes after 6-0 in the Big Ten. Ben McCullum Show coming up next. Isaiah Howard, the
Dives for lunch.
The Juicy Lucy. Essentially, it's a burger, but with cheese on the inside.
James Beard Award winners for dinner.
French technique, but Midwestern ingredients. It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
The best new cars, Honda, make the best pre-owned cars. Honda certified pre-owned vehicles. Get the best value with Honda certified pre-owned vehicles. Honda backed with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Plus, every certified pre-owned Honda goes through a 182-point inspection and is reconditioned like new by factory-trained technicians with genuine parts. Search your local Honda dealer today.
Time now for the Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield Health Coverage Report. Let's take a look at the numbers. When you enroll in a Wellmark individual or family health plan, you choose from thousands of in-network providers. And you're teaming up with Iowa's #1 health insurance company. We know healthcare in Iowa. Score great coverage from Wellmark. Find the plan that's best for you at wellmark.com/covered. Enrollment ends January 15th.
Attention Hawkeye fans, Big Grove is proud to be an official craft brewery of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Whether you're at the game or watching from home, Big Grove has got you covered. Enjoy an easy Eddie from the stands or visit them for every Hawkeye game at any of their 4 convenient Iowa locations in Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, or Solon. Big Grove Brewery, your official watch party headquarters of the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! Big Grove Brewery, an official craft brewery of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
In Minnesota, we don't hide from winter. We embrace it. When there's a nip in the air, we take on the trails. For every layer you wear, there's a new experience waiting for you.
It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, this has been Hawk Talk with Jensen, presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community. Oak Knoll, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City community for 59 years. Also brought to you by Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by your local Ford dealers. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.